Hey there, campers. While we're gathering around the campfire, we just want to let you know we are not what you would call experts. What we do have is a love for researching and discussing the lore of cryptids, creatures,
and an occasional spooky woman that can eat our soul.
So if you are in need of immediate help with the chupacabra in your yard, please consult someone else.
Also, this podcast isn't for kids. These campfire stories can contain graphic and explicit content that may not be suitable for young campers, so listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone. I look a little glitchy today, but you know what? Oh, we're fine. Everything's fine. Well, anyway, hey, campers. My name is Kimmy, and I'm here with my co-host Ryan.
Welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast where we tell you the history of and stories of different legends and lore from all around the world.
Ooh, and getting right into it. This is a quite change of pace because Ryan and I got so comfortable with morning recordings. So we seem a little sleepy, but you know what? We're here for a good little spooky time. So
Hell yeah.
Starting right into it, Ryan, do you want to tell me what you found Aloreing this week or in the last 48 hours in your case?
I'm going on vacation this month, so I needed to pack all of my October into one weekend. So we did Friday the 13th tattoos. We did a Friday the 13th / Halloween party and a Ren fair all in one weekend. And I'm exhausted. I need a weekend from this weekend, but it's been fun. I got like 6 little baby tattoos.
What were the ones you guys decided on?
I'll post pictures of them in the Discord, but I got a whole bunch. There's just little guys all over. Little guy.
That's great.
Little guy. We got all sorts of tattoos. Because then they're just like tiny little like $20 like flash pieces, you know.
So, yeah.
So I went pretty ham, and then I dressed as Ken for my Halloween party. Specifically rollerblading Ken. And then
it's because you're Ken enough, right?
I'm Ken enough, yeah.
That's right.
And then the Ren Fair, I got to bust out the kilt, and it was a good time. So I got to play dress up like all weekend. And then today I just tried to sleep and didn't. So
oh no.
And then D&D today. So literally just boom this weekend. But it's been fun.
Are you DMing your campaign?
No.
Oh, okay. See, good.
Yeah. No. There ain't no way. I don't got time for that.
I was gonna say, what compelled you to do all of that?
No, I'm playing a monk, so my campaign's very easy. It's like, do I want to punch stuff or do I want to punch stuff? Like, you know, it's
oh yeah.
And then how many times do I want to punch? That's literally all I got to think about in D&D. Especially today, it was just a fighting day. There was like no story, so it was just like, all right, I'm gonna punch 6 times.
You're like, oh, what a glorious day to not be a spellcaster.
It's the best. Spellcasters are suckers. You can just punch something over and over and over. And when you're level 6 monk, it counts as magic damage. So it's like, why be a spellcaster? Fair. It's for nerds. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thanks. As a always spellcaster squad, I don't think I've ever been anything but a spellcaster. Ever.
You're really missing out on the joys of just punching things.
I just got the hot fire chick from Baldur's Gate.
Oh, Karlach.
And she just like does 3 things and she does them amazing. And I'm kind of like, I was like, why don't I play a barbarian just once?
Barbarians are even easier than monks. Your job is hit or smash. So I guess technically they're a little harder because you have 2 choices.
Yeah. It's just like, I'll go for my wizard panel, which takes up my whole bottom row. And then hers is like 3 things.
Welcome back to Baldur's Gate Talk, by the way, everybody. This is now 6 episodes in a row, I think. So
we will keep talking about it until I beat it. And trust me,
I'm never stopping.
We had, oh my God, I was laughing so hard. I think it was Kelsey from Fairy Tale Fix. Mm-hmm. She messaged me. She's like, "Okay, you guys have convinced me to buy Baldur's Gate." I was like, "Yes, joy."
Larian Studios, give us money. That's all we talk about anymore is Baldur's Gate. We're no longer a folklore podcast. We're just a Baldur's Gate podcast.
If we really wanted to, and we really felt compelled, we could do a folklore about the Baldur's Gate. Like one of their creatures, so
that's true. Think about
it because they totally listen to our little indie podcast.
They do, yeah. Come on. But anyway,
we convinced people.
Yeah,
comment.
We got at least one person to buy Baldur's Gate. So
listen, that's all we need.
More advertising than you did, Larian Studios. So. What did you do this last week, Kimmy?
Oh man. Well, I got an is it called aeronomic or ergonomic?
Ergonomic? Like a chair?
Chair, yeah.
Oh, the thing you're sitting on right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I don't think you can see it. I can like pull it out and I can flip this little thing and I can like sit like cross-legged.
Okay.
Oh, it's so nice. I always like have to sit with my legs cross-legged.
Yeah. Feels nice on the back.
Oh yeah, I can I'm not hunched over like the Hunchback of Notre Dame every episode.
Were you sitting in that pink chair in the background before?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's like
Are you okay?
No, wait. Look, it's like a seashell chair.
Yeah, that's like great aesthetically, but I could not imagine sitting for hours in that thing.
No, I was dying. I bought it because was like a pink seashell chair and my house is all pink, blue, and green.
That's like sit for a couple minutes and do like makeup or like waiting room type of chair, not a sit for not a work at your desk for hours type of chair. That's wild.
Yeah, no, I very was like, oh, I'm here for the aesthetic, and I'm like, I've made so many great mistakes, but now I'm queen, team comfort. I got like Crocs sandals. I'm slowly converting.
Nice.
As much as it kills me. But you know what? Enjoy the comforts of life as you get older. Yeah, that's really it.
You get an ergonomic chair if you don't, listener, because your back's dying every day.
It's changed my life. So the new chair, I don't know, I've been doing yoga daily and just organizing life. I've been a little quiet on our social media because I've been preparing for the 12 days of Krampus, and oh boy, Ryan's not ready for it. So
no Tim Allen this year, right?
A lot of background. What?
No Tim Allen this year.
You'll see.
The beam's dead, right? No, we're not gonna.
You will see.
It's gonna be 12 days of Tim Allen, and I'm every day I'm like, maybe today won't be Tim Allen, and then it will be.
It's just pictures of his face on everything.
Oh my God.
Don't give me any ideas, Ryan. I'm not quite done with it yet, so I can still throw things. But yeah, just, you know what? Everything's kind of been a vibe. I'm trying to think how to help with a transition. This chair has been out of this world.
Oh my goodness. Would you say it makes you smile?
Oh my goodness. It makes me smile so big.
Speaking of smiling, let's talk about this week's episode. Oh.
There are those sweet, sweet campfire sounds.
Whoop. And we're just gonna adjust Kimmy's camera again because everything's broken this week.
Oh yeah.
All right. What the heck are we talking about? Oh wait, no, I gotta do my poem. Everybody, stop talking. Okay. Why are you frightened? Don't be frightened. We wish you no harm, he said. We mean you no harm. We wish you only happiness.
Now you do that. Now you do the what are we talking about? Right.
I'm just smiling.
Oh,
Anyway, what are we talking about this week?
maybe I should put on my glasses. Give me like un momento, por favor. Ah, look at that. Man, sometimes I hate wearing glasses. Not as an aesthetic thing. I feel I look adorable. It's just like the pressure with the glasses and the headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ryan's just fucking around to start the episode. It's okay. While Ryan's having a moment, I'm gonna... Can that be our thumbnail image when we're done? Anyway. So, while driving down the dark roads of West Virginia on Route 77, be wary of hitchhikers that lurk in the darkness. Though this is a general good rule to follow, there is one known to wave people down with an eerie grin plastered on his face. Though he means no harm and seems to come in peace, his strange appearance and UFO activity is enough to leave anyone who encountered him questioning their own sanity. So this week, we will be talking about the peculiar smiling man known as Indrid Cold. For all of our beautiful audio listeners, you can head over to our website, aloreing.com, to our blog to check out this week's illustration, or you can go to our Instagram, or you can come hang out on YouTube for a minute. And there's this week's illustration. The container will make sense as we start talking about it. But I'm actually quite happy with how this one turned out because I'm not used to doing this color palette.
Mm-hmm. It's very different. I love it.
So it's very like, I don't want to say pop art, but I feel pop art is a really great way to explain it for people that aren't super deep in art history. Yeah. So it's just like bright colors and it's super fun. And I was actually pretty happy with this. So this week's extraterrestrial is known to have made a major impact in the cryptid community during the 1960s in West Virginia before fading away at the turn of the 1970s. So he was just here for a short time. Mm-hmm. And though this alien seemed to have left Earth's orbit for good, stories of him have evolved into more creepy urban legends, and tales of the Smiling Man are still told to this very day in short films and eerie indie video games. Now, what are the origins to the Smiling Man? So, legends surrounding this extraterrestrial all started with the first encounter that took place in October of 1966. That's when two young boys saw him on the side of the road. But it wasn't until a man by the name of Derenberg would report his first-hand encounter with this entity in November of 1966, which would quickly lead to the Smiling Man phenomenon. The evening of November 1st in 1966, Derenberg had a strange encounter with a man-like alien entity on his way home from work. So Ryan's going to tell us more about this sighting, but for now, it's important to know this experience left him uneasy, and he ended up reporting the strange encounter to the Parkersburg police the following day. So this encounter was so strange, it wasn't long until word got out and the local news outlets quickly swooped in for a one-on-one TV interview. So this slide is pretty cool because it's like a screenshot of the interview, which I feel we don't get a lot of these with cryptids. So during a live television interview on WTAP, members of the state and Pittsburgh police, Wood County Airport, and the representatives from the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, all got together to question Derenberg for 30 minutes about his strange encounter with the Smiling Man. I just thought this was cool, so I will put a direct link to the interview on our blog when this episode is live, just because, like, I just think it's interesting. The one I'll put a link to is it's just the still picture, but you can hear their conversation. But you could probably find the whole thing somewhere online. I didn't have time to find it, but anyway, it's pretty cool to check out. Regarding the interview for the WTAP TV in Parkersburg, West Virginia, he told Ronald Maines about his strange encounter. He described the eerie human-like appearance of this quote-unquote human that introduced himself as Indrid Cold. He described how he looked human but wasn't. He also described the creature's strange ability to communicate through telekinesis and how he disappeared into the night on what appeared to be a type of spaceship. Ooh. So this was fucking bonkers at the time, and shortly after the interview aired, multiple people came forward about their own encounters with the smiling man in the same location around the same time. Several even said how they saw Derenberg that day stopped on the side of the road talking to what appeared to be a strange man. It seemed that everyone was talking about Indrid Cold, and for the following month, local newspapers ran a series of stories of those who encountered the strange man. Cold was reported trying to flag down other locals on the side of the road and watching them from a distance before running off into the night. He would even revisit those he encountered only to disappear shortly after. Derensberg's family reported seeing the strange smiling man for months after the encounter before it stopped altogether.
Is it possible people were just a lot happier in the 60s about people were just silent?
Wow, this is gonna sound really bad, but did we just get out of a war in the 60s?
I mean,
or was a war about to start?
Pretty much perpetual war since
Listen, I am a beautiful example of the public education system just being an absolute failure, you guys. It's not ignorance, it's not choosing not to know, it's just, man, public education just sucks ass cheeks, like
yeah.
That's all it is.
There was a small little war called Vietnam going on.
That's
around that time. It's just a little one.
Man, oh, I feel, I don't think we have listeners that care a super lot about it that listen to us. So I feel like our fan base is kind of staying put right now.
Yeah. Anyway.
If people don't understand I'm just here for hot cryptids, then they are on the wrong show.
Aren't we all at the end of the day?
I'm
just here to see some hot MILF man action. Sorry, not MILF-man, Mothman. Oh, my bad. Bit of a Freudian slip there.
Or is it? Anyways, it's funny you bring up Mothman. We'll get into that. So, Indrid Cold was a star, but like the fleeting fame of a child star in the 1990s, it didn't last long. Oof. As the 1960s came to a close, so did any sightings or encounters with the famous Smiling Man, and it was believed he simply returned to his home planet. You know what's funny? We'll get more into why I think he disappeared because of your Vietnam War comment, because it would make sense with it.
Because he's like,
and when we get to that
point about here, so he took off.
Anyway, this is what I gotta talk about, because the dots start to connect.
I already solved science or the church.
There we go. We don't need scientists. We have Ryan and I chit-chatting, Like, that's all the proof we need.
Yeah.
So today, legends of him are only told in passing, and he's grown more as an urban legend icon, being seen in a collection of creepypastas or horror indie video games. So, a little bit about his origins, and now I'm going to shift to his name meaning. So, Indrid Cold is really fascinating because it's one of those very rare instances where the creature tells us what their name is. And many legends, specifically more urban ones, will refer to him as Smiling Man or Grinning Man due to the eerie smile plastered on his face. I like to refer to him as Mr. Cold because it just has a nice ring to it.
Yeah. Are you telling me most cryptids don't fly off screaming their name?
No.
I always assumed
Mothman,
that's where most of the names came from.
You assumed
Mothman
cryptids
just
pulled
took off and went, "Ha
a
ha!
Pokemon?
I'm the moth," and then blew off. Am I wrong?
He did it in the same voice as the dude from What We Do in the Shadows. He's like, "Ha ha! I'm the Mothman."
Telling me the chupacabra doesn't just say, "Hey, I'm the chupacabra," and then eat a goat. I disagree.
Ryan, I'm going to shatter your world.
Shit.
As much as people may think cryptids say their name in the way Pokemon say their own name,
Yeah.
I hate to tell you that's not the case. But we can dream.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna pull this episode off the rails real quick because I just completely remembered something that I intended to talk about. Now that we're talking about cryptids, there was a new Bigfoot sighting this last week, and phones have such good cameras, Kimmy. My phone, if a 90s NASA scientist looked at my phone today, they would be like, "That's the Hubble telescope in your pocket." And once again, the cryptid hunting community has let me down with a video of Bigfoot walking along a mountainside on a trail. So let me give you some backstory. So supposedly there was a bunch of people on a train and they looked out the window and saw Bigfoot walking up the hill, and only a single person on the entire train decided, "Let me whip out my phone and film this." And of course it was the one person with the iPhone 4 1 megapixel camera. And I will say, much better than any other cryptid things I've seen before, but it's 2023. I know for a fact that their camera is better than that. And I believe I sent you the video. I definitely posted the video in our Discord.
It was so late at night, and Ryan messaged me. It was so late, you guys. And he messaged me, "This is serious." And he sent it. He's like, "I know what I'm talking about next week."
And I almost forgot until
I
we
watched
started
the video
talking
and I was like,
about.
"Oh no!"
Till we started talking about it this just now, and it's just I'm just always let down by the cryptid community. I don't know what else to say. When you post a video of Bigfoot on YouTube and you have to put a red circle around it because it's just a blob on the screen, do better.
It's been so long since Ryan has had a Bigfoot camera meltdown, and how I miss them so much. So if anything,
It's been
I
a while.
encourage people to post more fake Bigfoot stuff, because listen, I need this. It's been a long week and this brings me so much joy. Ryan, you know what? I really feel you should take this opportunity to a freelance class by
Tell me where in this image there's Bigfoot. Point
okay,
it out to
we're gonna make that a meme.
Because you can't. I'm gonna crop it in, and you tell me if you see Bigfoot.
Where's
all right?
Bigfoot in the Where's Waldo font?
All right, now spot Bigfoot. You can't, cause it's... Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about Indrid Cold.
Everyone, send us your Bigfoot sighting photos, because I know Ryan would just
definitely real,
of them
100%
more
real Bigfoot photos.
Fake. Send your real ones. Ryan, you just need, this is an Aloreing marketing opportunity. Ryan's going to do a freelance Bigfoot photography class. You know, it's like a 3-day, it's a weekend thing. You go camping You learn all about the camera skills, and you know what?
I'm just saying, in the video,
My fiance is kick flipping in a Bigfoot suit.
In the video that image is from, there's at least 6 people talking in the video because they're like, what's that on the hill? Oh my god, I gotta get a picture. Only one video? Really? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Anyway, let's get to some stories because I'm gonna.
How are you feeling?
I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling great, Kimmy.
Just Ryan.
All right, where are we?
I've been trying to think of the perfect Christmas gift, and the idea of just getting you a shirt where it's just a collage of every Bigfoot photo
just a blur.
It's so tempting. Because if I made it cool, you would wear it. Ooh, if I made it like the Taylor Swift Eras t-shirt.
It's just some blurry images of cryptids.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, I think that'd be a solid shirt. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna read some stories.
Well, everyone, the video jump right now may seem a little weird because after Ryan's beautiful Bigfoot rant, we may have had some technical difficulties with my internet.
Little technical difficulties.
So if the jump seems a little off, we apologize, but we want this to be a nice polished episode. Yeah. So now we're going to start talking about the sightings.
Yeah. All right.
Also, smashed a Taco Bell burrito too. So.
Hell yeah! I had Taco Bell for lunch.
Today's the day.
Shout out Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, if you'd like to sponsor.
Yeah, you don't even need to sponsor us, Taco Bell. I'm gonna keep eating you regardless. I'm gonna be honest.
Taco Bell carried my ass through college.
Taco Bell still carries my ass. It's the reason I have an ass, also, but that's besides the point.
Listen, they got that cake system set up.
I might go again for dinner. We'll see what happens. All right. So we're going to talk about some stories now that we're back and everything seems to be working better. So our first sighting takes place on October 16th, 1966, which we're recording the day before this happened. I should have done the math while I was offline. 23 minus 1966. The 57 years ago today is when we had this sighting. In New Jersey, 2 boys by the name of Martin and James were walking home late that evening when they noticed what appeared to be someone standing under a street light behind a wire fence. The man appeared to be in a spot that was very dangerous and essentially impossible for anyone to access since they would have to climb up an incline onto a turnpike and get over the fence. So it wasn't happening. Noticing the strange tall man, James nudged Marvin to see if he noticed, and that's when James then spoke up and said, "Who's that guy behind you?" Marvin turned to see the huge man now standing right behind him, behind the wire fence. Now face to face with the man, the eyes shifted to them, but he didn't do or say anything. Upon closer inspection, the children noticed he was very large, bald-looking man wearing a green metal suit and had a huge grin on his face. But what made him so eerie was his unnatural facial features. He had no eyes, no nose, or hair, small beady eyes set far apart, and a grin that stretched from one side of his face to the other. Upon seeing him, Marvin remembered how there were reports of a tall green man chasing people, so the boys immediately hightailed it out of there. Good call, Marvin.
That's a smart little... Because these kids are younger, is what I gathered from the story. That was a smart move. Be like, I'm gonna head out. So good for them.
And now Mr. Smiley, or whatever we're calling him, Mr. Cold, he didn't do anything bad. He just appeared and was smiling. So maybe he was trying to make friends. Is all what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm very speaking from being a girl that would walk the street at night sometimes. If a man was smiling at me, I was like, oh, this is the end.
But what if he was wearing a green metal suit?
This is the fashionable end. It was a little bit more tasteful.
So we're going out in style.
Facts.
Oops. Oh, I forgot to go backwards on our... All right. So this next one is, where did I go? Called The Sewing Machine Salesman. So this is November 1966. So a month after the boys spotted the guy. So this is the most common instance of the sighting. This was November 1st in West Virginia. So on a cold November night, as the moon hung low in the night sky, Woodrow Derenberger, a sewing machine salesman, was driving down the back roads of West Virginia on his way home from a business trip in Marietta, Ohio. That's when he noticed what appeared to be a flashing car light ahead of him. Thinking they were police officers, he stopped his car and pulled over to the side of the road, but peering through the bright light, he noticed it was not a police car, but an aircraft that looked like a kerosene lamp chimney, and when a strange man stepped out of the lamp-shaped craft and began to approach his truck with folded arms. Now, I think Kimmy had the better explanation of what this looks like.
I said, if you don't know what a kerosene lamp chimney is, just like close your eyes and picture a lamp being held by an old widow that owns the lighthouse. And it's like a stormy night, and she's like looking out to sea, holding the lamp with her little shawl over her, thinking of her deceased husband that got lost on the snow.
Dear diary.
Out there.
November 1st, 1966. I haven't seen Jimothy in 17 years. He took off on his journey to discover the great sea. All he left me was this kerosene lamp, that one day he would be back and light my spark once again, just like the spark of my kerosene lamp. Well, Jimmy, it's been many years since I've seen you, and I hope one day the tides bring you home, but unfortunately, I do not see this happening. I'm so cold and alone, Jimmy.
I like to imagine there's a little poem excerpt underneath that says, Jimothy fell in love with the sea, but I fell in love with Jimothy.
When Jimothy disappeared into the sea, I found myself always looking out, hoping to see that black flag flying over the sunset. What I didn't mention was Jimothy was actually a pirate and a terrible, terrible person who robbed and pillaged the South Indian Sea. This kerosene lamp came from a small kingdom that he once pillaged. That's how I'll remember him, as my bloodthirsty pirate man. XOXO, Agatha James.
So that's what a kerosene lamp.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a kerosene lamp. So
back to the 1960s.
So now we're in the 1960s.
Alien man
again.
walked towards us.
So the alien man walked in a manner that seemed just disjointed, and then began to speak telepathically to Derenberg and introduced himself as Indrid Cold, space alien, and kindly asked him to roll down his right window so they could have a chat. Though terrified, Derenberg was like, what am I going to do? This guy has a spaceship. So he rolled down his window, and the man came up to his vehicle. The strange man asked what Derenberg's name was and asked why he was frightened. At that moment, Derenberg was able to piece together why the strange man looked so off. He had an eerie grin that did not move and a set of wide, beady eyes that never broke eye contact. Very polite. Though creeped out, he mentally continued the conversation with Indrid Cold. Indrid said, don't be frightened. We wish you no harm, and we mean you no harm. We wish you only happiness. After talking to him about his home planet, why he was visiting, and how he just wanted to make friendly human contact, Indrid said how he had to go and would visit Derenberg again. The strange man then walked back to the ship and disappeared into the night. So, a little nicer.
I know we got a little lost in the metaphor for that story, but, you know, it's overall pretty. We got a pretty friendly, peculiar alien encounter.
Just like Jimmy was before he joined
maybe
the
visited
pirate
Agatha
life.
in a past life.
Yeah. Maybe Mr. Cold is Jimmy. All right. Well, our next encounter takes place in
but you'll see why.
1966.
There's actually an explanation to why he is it.
Oh, okay. We're getting that fun delay again, so I'm just going to power through. So at the time, the family had reported that they believed to be poltergeist activity in their home. They would see strange lights in shades of blue, green, and red, even changing ones in the sky around their rural home at night. These lights produced no noise, and some were so low they appeared diamond-shaped when the family looked through the home's window. The lights weren't the only strange activity on the property. Cars near the home would stall unexplainably, and kitchen cabinets and doors in their homes would slam in the late hours of the night. They even received phone calls to the home phone that when they picked up would be a strange, metallic, incoherent sound on the other line. And if all that wasn't spooky enough, sometimes the family would hear the cries of a baby inside their home. Now, it's important to point out that baby cries and slamming of cabinets and doors are very poltergeisty, but there was clearly something else because poltergeists don't make giant lights in the sky, as far as I know. So it all boiled over one evening when Linda, the daughter of the family, woke up to see a tall figure hovering above her bed. It appeared a very large, tall man with an eerie grin. The little girl screamed and hid under the covers. Once she poked her head back out and noticed he had disappeared, she ran to her mother's bedroom, shrieking hysterically and saying, "There's a man in the room," and refused to sleep in her own bed for months following the encounter. Good call, little Linda.
Yeah, way to be brave enough to look out from under the covers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have just stayed under there the rest of the night.
We got bad lag again.
Yeah,
Lord.
it happens. We're just gonna power through. But we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. But not really, because we're pre-recording. But we'll be right back. Here's a wolf howl. That's the right one, right?
No, it's the radio sounds. But you know what? It's fine.
The delay stopped as soon as I wolf howled.
Oh, see? Well,
maybe there's something to it.
Maybe it is the bane of my existence.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that little sponsor break. I hope we're not too laggy, but you know what? We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens in this next little part. I'm just gonna be doing a lot of video editing and give our editor Chris, many blessings.
This is an incredibly creepy photo.
Yeah, I hated researching him.
Yeah.
It was very late last night and the night before when I was able to, and I really regret it because it was not fun to see this face.
There's something so creepy about a grin.
Yeah, I would have the PowerPoint open and all the different links open in the story, and I'd switch between it and I'd see his face and I'd go, I was like, I'm done. I moved to the next slide. All right. Let's tell all of our audio listeners why we think he looks so creepy in this photo. So, appearance-wise, Indrid Cold appears as a very tall man who wears an old suit or overalls and is either a shade of green or blue and sometimes has a metallic fabric look to it. His skin normally appears as a tan color, but sometimes gives off a strange greenish tint. Overall, he seems like your average tall Joe until you get up close and personal. Focusing on his face, he has a very small set of wide eyes, and he has an eerie grin that stretches from one cheek to another. Some say how parts of his face may appear missing, such as there being no nose, no ears, and he's also known to have no hair, which gives him a more gray alien appearance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So overall, it's like an alien trying to be human is a really great way to explain his appearance.
It's like he watched a couple YouTube videos and was like, all right, this is how humans act. And then
he's like, write that down.
Hello, I am human man here to greet you.
I come in peace. And just the cheeky smile.
Like, humans love smiles. It diffuses situations. Always smile.
always smile and never break eye
Always,
contact.
yeah, never. It is so rude to break eye contact.
I would love to be in on a class about what aliens think humans like. I wouldn't comment anything. I would just be like, write that down.
quick.
So next we're going to talk about his behavior, and his like personality is a bit hard to pinpoint at times. It seems like he's a non-malevolent alien and is merely here to observe and protect. Personally, he gives a lot of like animal rescue worker vibes. Like, I feel he looks at humans and he's like, "Oh, look at this so cute human. Oh no, I'm not trying to scare you.
Terrified, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here to help." And he smiles and does like a creepy voice to comfort. And the animal's like,
"Stop showing your teeth."
Yeah. So that's the vibes I get from him. Like, he sees us like we see animals in a petting zoo.
Yeah.
He has also never caused any harm or hurt anyone. The most unsettling thing about him is his appearance. Some do speculate the reason Mr. Cold wears such an eerie smile is so he can blend in and not come off as creepy when talking to humans. Which may not be working the way he thinks he is, but
it's not.
He studied and he's doing his best. He honestly seems to have no ill intentions and is generally peaceful with those that he has encountered. However, that did change at the turn of the century, and that's because good old creepypasta got a hold of this creepy, malicious, smiling man. So the internet transformed him into an urban legend with more creepy vibes. This version of Mr. Cold is known to behave erratically as he dances around and moves in a disjointed manner as if a little tiny alien is manually controlling his body. While moving, he will always be staring up at the night sky until he finds a victim, and that's when he will lock eyes with them and he will chase them down. Which is nope, because like the image I have of him walking is like the Titans from Attack on Titan, just like robot-y. So,
that's actually probably very accurate.
So that's what I see in my head, and he's just staring at you smiling in a business suit. And if he could say, "I would like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty," it would be pure perfection. But, you know, we can't have it all sometimes. So, though there is the more spooky version of this creature, I personally think that's just like an embellishment. Like, he just really seems like he's just trying to blend in.
Yeah, he's really bad at it, but he's doing his best.
Really bad. It's like when you have that family member that is now like really supportive about like you being gay, and they go way overboard with like the rainbows and stuff, and you're like, you don't need to be doing this.
You can chill.
Like, I appreciate your support, but we just gotta take it down a level. You know what I mean? All right, now on to some fun little facts surrounding this creepy man. Can we please change that picture to the next one? All right, another cryptid photo. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a sexy Mothman. No. Well, that's going to be one of the clips to market this episode. All right. So though we know Indrid Cold as its own type of extraterrestrial, there was a moment in the 60s where many would confuse him with the one, the only Mothman, which is very funny because you brought him up earlier.
Don't see the resemblance.
No, look, just squint your eyes. Just a little. See?
No.
There you go.
Not seeing it.
It's because I have worse eyesight. That's why they look the same.
Wait, let me. Okay,
there you
actually, yeah, no, I see the. All right, there we go. Yeah, I see it.
Twinning. Ryan had to take off his glasses so you could see what I see normally. You know. So in the early 1967, one of the most infamous Mothman sightings occurred. This cryptid was spotted hovering above Silver Bridge, an I-bar chain suspension bridge which connected Point Pleasant and Polis, Ohio, on the opposite sides of the Ohio River. This led to a... Wait, what?
It's always Ohio.
Oh, man. Yeah. The only reason I would move to Ohio at this point is just so I could get a good photo for Ryan before he passes to the next life. I feel that's what Ryan needs before he can ever move on.
Yeah.
His spirit will haunt us.
I am going to become a revenant that will not rest until a good cryptid photo is taken.
He just becomes stronger and stronger because each time someone passes away that did a false photo, he like feeds on their soul. He made a deal with the devil. It's the whole thing.
Belongs to me.
It's like there's the devil and then there's the Ryan false cryptid catcher. Like it's right next in the Bible.
Yeah, they took my page out.
It's the Old Testament.
Yeah,
the
New Testament.
So this led to a collection of people looking into this strange phenomenon. One of them was John Keeler, an American investigator. While looking into the Mothman sightings, he received a series of phone calls from Mr. Cold. The Smiling Man had arrived in town in 1966, about the same year when Mothman was being reported in Point Pleasant. Now, during December 15th of that same year, John got a final call from the ominous Mr. Cold. So what I was able to find is, what I was able to interpret is John was on the bridge when Mr. Cold called him and told him to run away because of a terrible disaster about to happen.
Oh.
Then, once he got off the bridge, it ended up collapsing and killing 46 people.
Oh, shit.
So, since that incident, Mothman and Indrid Cold were both seen as prophets of doom. The media would even go as far as depicting them as the same creatures from one news report to another. So, even though Mr. Cold started as a shady character involved with the Mothman legends, it wasn't long until he was known as his own supernatural entity and became a major part of UFOlogy. Now, I want to go back to the top of the episode where you talked about, we had the thing about the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And me, I can't remember if it was cut out or not, because this episode's a little bit of a mess right now. No, but Kimmy, public education system has failed me, and I forgot that this was when the Vietnam War was going to happen. So my theory is maybe that was one of the things they were kind of warning about that was about to happen, because he disappeared. You know, when did it? One second, when did the Vietnam War start? Let me see.
54. That was a while.
Yeah. After. No, because he kind of showed up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So never mind.
It got worse, you know. So.
That's true. Maybe he came to say, "Hey, you know this shit show?
Stop. Maybe leave.
Maybe leave. Maybe you don't need to be there. Yeah. You know."
Shout out, Mr. Cold.
What was that? The Bush administration?
Kimmy. Oh my God.
I'm done.
Let's just move on.
Woo! Public education, baby! Oh man, I did not do very well in that class either. I had a very
world history. No, you're only off by like 20 years. It's fine.
You know, I'm not going to say any more presidents because I know we
should move on. You're only digging a hole deeper. Let's move on to
the cost of living with a UFO encounter. Yeah. It seemed like everyone was talking about Mothman and Mr. Cold at the time, but the idea of space aliens were on people's mind. Oh, I wrote that weird. Everyone was thinking about these creatures, and when we look back at it, it's like, oh, everyone must have been talking about it.
Yeah.
But at the time, discussing this kind of stuff was way more hush-hush. So during the 1960s, it is very important to note how taboo it was for people to come forward about their encounters with the strange and unusual or anything alien. Coming forward about these experiences were easily dismissed as something mental and often resulted in the person becoming ostracized by their community and hermiting away from everyone for the rest of their lives. So, in the case of Indrid Cold, when Durenberger came forward about his experience, he was soon thrusted into the limelight, but not in a good way. Media and locals constantly stalked around his home in hopes to catch a glimpse of the smiling man. And if people weren't stalking him and the home, they were outright ridiculing him and dismissing him as mental. Durenberg became depressed and suffered painful headaches after the experience and even went to the doctor for a diagnosis to see what was up. But the doctor said everything looked good and there was no chemical imbalances or disruptions. This event not only took a toll on him, but on his family and friends. For years, they would all receive harassing phone calls to their home or work from UFO enthusiasts, news outlets, and even people pretending to be the ominous smiling man just to like poke fun, which is not okay. Like, if you, just as like a good pro tip for like any type of thing with any type of person you're dealing with, if you have to call the work to do a prank call, you've gone way too far.
Yeah.
You know, like, just don't do it. It's fine. Just like go back to teeping houses, folks. It got so bad, some even blamed the loss of their jobs on his encounter with Indrid Cold because they were just receiving so many phone calls, which just kind of sucks. But I don't think it's his fault. But in the end, him coming forward about the experience did way more harm than good. This encounter took such a toll on him, he became obsessed with the events of the strange night, and it led to him sadly losing his job, his wife, and moving far away just to find some peace of mind. And he also like became really obsessive, where he wrote like 7 books about it, and like that became his whole life.
Okay.
You know? And I feel the sad thing is like he just didn't have any support system with it.
Yeah, everyone thought it was crazy.
Yeah, which is like not cool. Like, especially at this time when like people having mental health like wasn't a thing, but like especially men, like it's just it's very messed up and it breaks my heart a little. But you know, on a lighter note, times do be changing. Currently, people seem way more open to the idea of aliens walking amongst us than they did like 57 years ago. Maybe it's because we're currently living in a post-capitalistic hellscape where the cost of living rises for no reason. And the thought of aliens is honestly the last thing on our minds.
Whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's like, but is my landlord going to raise the rent after not taking care of the mouse problem? Speaking of which, guess who had a mouse run in the bathroom while she was...
Oh, no.
I was I couldn't do anything.
Naked
I just screamed
afraid.
I was so scared. That mouse ran in so quick and so fast. It was more scared of the naked giant than it was of than I should have been. Anyway, it's fine. I feel a lot of rage for that. But, you know, it just happened before we started recording, so that's fine.
No.
Call an exterminator Monday. Or maybe we don't really care as much because we're just thirsty for some extraterrestrial booty, you know?
Not to stay on the mouse topic, but maybe you could do like a Ratatouille situation where it writes our podcast for us.
You know, that would just be nice because then that's less work I have to do. Let me go. I saw it for the first time yesterday, Luma was staring at me, and I take a step downstairs, and I see it run past Luma, and she looked at it and looked at me like, "Do you see this asshole?" Yeah, and I was like, "Are you not going to do anything about it?" And she just was like, "You take care of it." Yeah. So anyway, I have a hard time with mice because I don't want to harm them, but if I don't, they just come. They always come back. Yeah. They can be outside all they want. It's the moment they're in the house that I have the problem. I was like, I will make you a house outside. Yeah. Just don't touch my stuff. With their little feet everywhere. Oh, okay. Anyway. now we know Kimmy's feeling about mouse. So let's move on to the next thing.
What an image.
Woo! All right. So this is like a fun little picture of kind of what the encounter was. There's like the ship on the side and him coming out and the cars. So speaking of alien booty, I'd like to take a moment to talk about where Indrid Cold comes from and Darren Berg's first-hand experience with this place. Buckle up, because whoa, I really had to condense this part because this is a little while. So upon encountering Denenberg, Mr. Cole told him how he came to take samples of different vegetation and animals on Earth to compare it with the ones from his home planet called Lanulos, which was 14.6 light years away in the galaxy of Ganymede. Should have looked up those words.
It's an alien planet. You can say however you want, and you're correct.
Fair. That's very fair. So Lanus was described to be practically the same as planet Earth in regards to people's beliefs, planet, environment, and culture. It was originally settled by people of Earth who traveled there in spaceships. So this implies that Earthlings could travel to space prior to the 20th century, but the knowledge of space travel has been lost for a long time and only more recently rediscovered.
Prometheus type vibes.
I was thinking the other day of how we have that trend where it's like, how often do guys think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah.
And it was like, what do girls think about? And I was like, man, I think about the Library of Alexandria like 3 times a day. So maybe that's where the space travel docs were in,
the Greek Empire a lot, not the Roman Empire.
What was it? The Roman Empire? Is that what it is? Yeah. I don't know. Do you think about the Roman Empire like 3 times a day?
Probably 6 or 7 times a day. I have no idea where that trend came from. I couldn't tell you the last time I thought about the Roman Empire. But now I do all the time.
Now it's always there.
Yeah, now it's just always in the back of my mind. Like I could have been a gladiator.
Would you want to be a gladiator?
Yesterday when I was wearing my kilt at the Ren Fair, I was like, man, something primal, There I could have been like a wildling in the Roman Empire.
You just felt
freaking
connected.
Taking out Caesar, Like I'm looking from the other side of the Roman Empire.
Yeah. You're like still part of it, just the other side.
Just the other side.
So Mr. Cold told Dernenberg how the planet was they practiced marriage and referred to their partners as united and would refer to their spouse as a union. So a little
solidarity forever, man.
Yeah, so like kudos to that. I don't know. I also believe like we may be one of the few races that have like sexes. Like with aliens, I don't know. I feel aliens are way more like interesting.
It's called something different,
Yeah,
that's
what I think. I've watched too much space anime in my life, so Sailor Moon does a real impact at a young age. He told him of his wife Kimmy and his 3 children. So
wait a minute.
Agatha was not his partner, as much as we would love
that. Agatha is his widow who was waiting for.
Oh, and then he got with Kimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, checks out. Oh, you know what? I allow that timeline
Timothy
because
disappeared off into the void with Kimmy off in the distance. He swears she's just a friend, but she took him into space, but never to be seen again. She was also a space pirate. I think that might be why Jimmy joined the lifestyle of the space pirate regime. He left me this lamp because it was like a spaceship that he took off in. It belonged to Kimmy before the days of the traveling. He's going to a planet that he calls Earth, or Omega 927685. I fear Timmy may never return home. Agatha Christie, 1967.
I am convinced you were an old widow in your past life because you're too good at that. Well, it would make sense because their lifespan is about 125 years to 175 years.
My
And
85-year-old child is still living at home. He has not moved out. Rents are a little too high on this planet, so he moved to Earth in hopes of low rent and cheap living. He's going to be sorely disappointed in about 60 years when the boomers start retiring and calling real estate an investment instead of a place to live, you know. Agatha Christie, 1968.
Agatha Christie is one of my favorite humans right now. So, children of the planet go through lengthy education periods that start the moment they're capable of knowing the difference between good and evil.
Oh.
The planet was also hella evolved, and honestly, it just seems better than Earth. So the people of Lanos are non-hostile, and they have no crime or war.
Well, we've already established they do have piracy, though, so...
They, you know what? To each their own.
But it's
you
space
gotta...
piracy. They're not doing it on their planet, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, see, that's fair. You know, it's like, well, the crime isn't happening on the planet.
Yeah, laws are, you know, written by the governing body, so like maybe to them piracy is not illegal, so there's no crime.
That's fair. See, that's how I see it. So, speaking of government, it is loosely organized around 56 people guiding council who members are elected, would you look at that, every 6 months. And
That
if a member
like,
proves...
Imagine voting every 6 months. That sounds like a fucking nightmare.
You know, I would say that, but then I see some of the people just high on dementia medication.
That's true.
And I'm
But
just
here's
like,
the thing,
you know
they would
what?
still get elected every 6 months. Then we just have to elect a 97-year-old lieutenant governor for the 97th year election in a row instead of like the 50th election in a row, you know?
And it's so broken. It's so broken.
Anyway, we need to get through this episode.
Ryan and I are really setting into some existential dread right now. Also, if the members prove unfit, they are dismissed and another person will be elected. So,
okay.
So they actually, again, better planet Earth. The friendly Lanasoians, while not warlike, were engaged in business and desired to establish trade with Earth. Then there's the piracy. However, they found their attempts to form a relationship rebuffed. Mr. Cold said how they approached the American government multiple times, but to no surprise, they got shot. And he showed a few shotgun marks he had from trying to confront the American government. Which is too on brand.
He showed up on Nixon's lawn and he's just like, get out, bah!
He's like, they're making them green now.
Nixon was on his the White House lawn smoking weed when an alien showed up on his lawn that he had to shoot with a shotgun, and that's when the war on drugs started, because he's like, that was a crazy trip.
He's like, we'll all be shooting because we all got guns. So Mr. Cold had such a bad experience with that, he would try to flag people on the side of the road so he could share knowledge with them and have kind human interaction.
So I'm trying to help these Earthlings. They keep freaking shooting me.
It's like, why? I don't even understand anymore. So now, this all may sound really out there, but apparently Denenberg entered Mr. Cold's spaceship and visited the planet a few times. So since we don't have time to unpack all of that, I just want to add a quick side note that there is way more information about Lanos in Denenberg's published books, and we just don't have time to cover it all in an episode. So if you want a fun read, go check it out. Fun fact, we have direct links for some of them on our website. If you head over to bookshop.org/shop/Aloreing, you can get it from there. And it's pretty great because we get a little kickback and they do stuff for local bookstores. So it's just like a fun little thing to support everyone out there. And I always am all about that.
Win-win-win.
So it's also important to note there has been no independent verification of the existence of such a planet, as Denenberg has described. So many people believe it's nothing more than, what is it, fiction? I wrote that wrong. So it's fiction. But I like to think we aren't the only ones out there. And you know what? There could be something to it. Like, why not? You know? And now.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
That's our podcast, so I really can't. I can't hate on it. What's the source? It's me. I'm the source. My brain. All right. Now it's time for one of my favorite segments. Ryan's getting emotionally ready. It is time for Is It Science or the Church?
This one's actually kind of hard because, like, it seems like science is the obvious answer.
Of course.
But the church has always got some shit to say, you know? So I'm going to go with my first instinct and say science.
Well, Ryan, you're lucky I didn't pull an old, what's it called, switcheroony, because I almost put the belief system of Mr. Cold in here, but I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So you got it!
I'd like to thank Agatha Christie. Agatha strayed away from the church in her later years in 1969. After Timmy's betrayal, she stopped seeing God in the sunsets and started staying home on Sundays, or what they call Schlockblads.
Someone please draw Ryan as Agatha. Just a little doodle. That's all I ask.
Some say God is dead. Maybe, just maybe, we killed him. Agatha Christie, 1969. Nice.
I can't. I gave you too much power with that reference, and it's just never going to end. So, we got science this week, campers. Very straightforward. People believe it's nothing more than someone tripping in a suit. You know, it's someone.
I mean, that makes it was the 60s. That checks out.
Yeah, there was a lot of psychedelic drugs.
There's a reason folklore happened during the times. A lot of people did mushrooms.
Yeah,
and then there happened to be a resurgence in America around the same time. People kind of started to rediscover mushrooms. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's all
psychedelics. Psychedelics are psychedelics. You know.
Yeah, of course, this doesn't. It can explain. You can like argue, but it doesn't really explain how they can talk telepathically, or how multiple people were seeing the same creature, or how they saw the ship.
Yeah. That's
so fair. Mostly the ship.
Technically, only one person saw the ship. The other people just saw creepy smiling man, which could have been just a guy.
Yeah, in a suit.
In a suit, tripping.
On some shrooms.
How he moved so fast, it's hard to say, but you know.
It's just I like to imagine it's the more creepy way, like the Attack on Titan one, running. But when he's running at you, it plays the song. What is it, like 1,000 miles? Like, make my way downtown, walking. Anyway, that's all I got. Ryan, it's your turn. You take over now.
It's time for Modern Takes with Ryan. That's not playing for some reason, but I promise there's usually a GIF that pops up on the screen.
Oh.
Anyway, so I got two little things to talk about this week. One, we love giving shout outs to little short films. So Kimmy actually found one on YouTube called 2 a.m. The Smiling Man, a short film by Michael Evans. It's 4 minutes, but very creepy, and actually got me. I jumped.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a jump in there that got me pretty good. Yeah, good. good little short film that kind of gives, especially like when Kimmy was talking about how some people described it as like a guy just like dancing, pretending to be a human. And then, so this one is not really accurate, but the whole time I was reading, I was just thinking of the movie Smile that came out last year. Because the whole thing is there's like a plague going around of people who they start smiling and then they got to kill themselves. And then if someone sees them kill themselves, they get the smile curse. And maybe they got their inspiration from the smiling man. I don't know. But there's a lot of overlap, primarily the creepy smile. So it just got me thinking about that, and it's just a really good movie. I liked it a lot. So
That was one of the first scary movies you had me watch.
it is, yeah. That was the original creepy camper idea, the one that sparked the idea. Now it is what it is now. It's a lot much different. 4 episodes in, we're finding our footing.
Woo! Well, original Aloreing took a few episodes, so you know what? You're doing great based off track record.
Heyo.
No, it's the smiling thing for me that I don't like. I don't know. It's just I don't like it. Nope.
Yeah, there's something like what's the uncanny valley of like seeing like a big smile when they're being creepy, you know? It's like paradoxical.
Yeah, just meh, nah. No, I don't like it. But yeah, no, I didn't even think of the Smile movie. That's a good comparison.
I mean, the name's right there.
It's right. It is right there. I think I just tuned that out. I really tossed that out of my memory bank. I was like, I don't want to remember anything about that. But here it is again. Wonderful. Right before bed too. Just when I want to remember the scary stuff.
Fantastic.
All right, let's do some lore report stuff, and then we'll move on to the announcements. This is when you do the wolf sound, by the way. All right. Campers, did you know we have a newsletter?
What?
Well, now you do. And the best part is you can join, and it's free. So, every month we send out a newsletter with the latest podcast episodes, shop updates. We have artist features and shout outs and anything coming new. Again, it's free to subscribe, and it's a great way to stay updated in the world of Aloreing, especially if you're like not about them social media channels, but you got an email. This is how you'll want to get your news. Plus, I took some extra time to make it look really pretty, so I would just appreciate if you check it out. I put like little animations in it. It's very cute. To join the newsletter, simply go to Aloreing.com and click on the Aloreing podcast listen page and sign up with your best email. I think you only need an email address and your first name. That way, when I send the emails, they feel personal.
Yeah, we ain't trying to get all your info.
No, I don't need that. I barely can hold on to my own info. So
keep that to yourself.
Yeah. And then also, if you are like a cryptid or folklore artist, if you email us, you can fill out the form on our website or email us at aloreing@gmail.com for a chance to be featured in the newsletter. So do that. And if you have fan art, you're more likely to be featured sooner. Just a little fun pro tip.
Nice.
Lead people to your Etsy shop that all like strange things. You know, we got you. All right. Your turn, Ryan.
And do you love fairy tales? I know you do because you're here. And do you love when people are tipsy reading those fairy tales? Well, I have great news. We do both, and we've been doing both. If you head over onto our Patreon and listen to our bonus episode series, Liquor and Lore. So every month, Kimmy and I reread a short fairy tale, all while enjoying a drink, and it gets chaotic because we record about 4 in a row. So you'll be able to tell which episodes are early in the night and which episodes are later in the night because they get worse or better depending on how you're looking at it. And since it's the spooky season, we'll be releasing 2 Halloween-inspired Liquor and Lore episodes this month. Can I say what one of them is? Like
You can say both of them.
Okay, we did. I'm just gonna say one because if you want to know what the other one is, you can go become a patron. We did Stingy Jack and drink every time I say stingy instead of stingy.
Only if you're of legal age.
Yeah.
We're not responsible for your health.
yeah. If you're not legal,
Drink responsibly.
I just said drink. You can drink milk if you're a child. That's not on me.
Lemon shots. If you really hate yourself, just squeeze some lemon juice into a little shot glass.
We should make. I'm gonna re-listen to the episode and I'm gonna make a little drinking bingo card. So join Patreon today for as low as $3 a month, or as they like to say on like those like commercials that piss me off, for the price of coffee you can become a Patreon exclusive for a whole month.
Half the price of coffee.
For half a price of a Starbucks coffee, for a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, you can become a Patreon for a whole month.
Woo!
So that I don't need to start selling my body. Join us today at patreon.com/Aloreing today.
Help keep Ryan off the streets, folks.
Yeah.
All right, he's dressed as Agatha on the corner.
I'll do. We need to come up with a sign-up goal. If we get a big enough sign-up goal, I will do like a 2-hour-long Agatha monologue. You come up with a goal, I'll figure it out.
I don't know, if we get 50 Patreons by the end of the year,
there we go.
We will do that.
I'll do a 2-hour-long Agatha monologue live. All right.
I will illustrate it, you guys.
Live. That'd actually be fun. Like, I'll just talk for 2 hours while you draw on the stream. So sign up for Patreon today at patreon.com/Aloreing. Once again, that is patreon.com/Aloreing. All right, let's get back to the show. Okay. We were on the same page this week. It was pretty, yeah, I mean... the man's a freak.
Die the hero or becomes the wolf villain.
Yeah. The man's a freak, but he's not like doing anything good or evil. I mean, if he's doing the whole like trying to teach us how to like better our society, I'd probably put him at good. But I think he just got caught in an awkward situation and was trying to lie his way out of it. Like, no, I promise, I was just trying to help you. I definitely didn't get banned from my planet for smiling at everybody.
The reason I put him chaotic is there's a little bit of alien splaining vibes from him, which I'm like,
Oh, you guys have election every 2 years? And
it's like, listen, I know it's a shit show. You know it's a shit show. But that's not going to change anything. You got to get some Russian votes in that for that to change.
Let us know what you think in the if you're listening on Spotify. It turns out you can leave comments on Spotify now, so let us know what you think it falls. Or on YouTube.
Is he alien splaining? Is he just a nice guy, or is he misunderstood? You know?
Let us know what you think in the Spotify comments below, or YouTube, wherever you are.
And I don't think he's hot, so he's just.
Well, I mean,
no. I'm sorry. No.
Come on.
Nah, maybe for Agatha, but you know what? Not for me.
Jimmy was not a very attractive man, but he had great personality. Personality that would spark the fire between my loins on our honeymoon.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. I don't want to hear about the loins of Agatha. I don't want to hear. We're so close to ending, and Ryan's just going to go for another 20 minutes.
Timmy was a generous lover with a smile. Always
we're gonna do our takeaways because it's never going to end.
About what he wanted to do.
And I'm so tired.
It was very straightforward. Every 6 months, he'd come in, get the job done and walk away.
Every day, God tests me in different ways. Give me your takeaways, Miss
As
Agatha.
Agatha said, God is dead. We killed him. My takeaway is if you're on a train of people and you see Bigfoot, don't rely on the one guy with an iPhone 4 to take the image.
And don't shoot your visitors will be my takeaway.
Yeah, looking at you, Richard Nixon. Piece of shit. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been Aloreing.
You have an Aloreing day. I'll catch you in the next episode. Agatha Christie, 1971.
Bye-bye.